What's going on, everybody? I hope you enjoyed your Saturday so far. This is MYG Jeffy T85 here, and I got to admit, I'm a little bit ticked off after tonight. Even though the Nets played, for the most part, a very good game, where they were pretty much leading this basketball game tonight from 7-6. That's the last time the Sixers had a lead. The Nets were leading throughout this entire game. The daunting task at the end of the Nets needing somebody to go out there and close the game, ending up biting them in the ass. As the Nets, on a last-second shot, 0.9 seconds to go, by Spencer Dinwiddie. He hits the shot, thinking we're going overtime. They go through a long review, and they end up saying that Spencer Dinwiddie's shot did not beat the buzzer, and the Nets fall at Barclays Center to the Philadelphia 76ers by the final score of 101-98. And it has a lot to do with the fact that the Nets defense, for the most part, was very good. They held Philadelphia to 101 points. But the one thing that reared their ugly head for the Brooklyn Nets, a couple of things did. Number one, they committed 20 personal fouls. Number two, 33% shooting from the three-point line. Number three, the rebounding started to tail off towards the end of the game, even though they did lead the game in rebounding. But the problem was the Brooklyn Nets could not stop Joel Embiid. He had his way against the Nets, 37 points and 13 rebounds. Harden also had a big game for Philadelphia. And the one thing that bit this team in the ass, the Nets, is they had 6+ minutes to go in this game, leading by as much as 7 points. And they couldn't hit a shot. They could not hit a shot for the last 7 minutes of this game. And one of the things that everybody's going to be talking about, including myself, who was the closer on this team? Because Philadelphia had their closers tonight. Brooklyn did not. Everybody went ice cold, and they had one basket in the last 6.5 minutes. And that is the reason why they blew this lead and they lost this game. And I'm not calling this a moral victory when you were leading this game since 7-6. I was ready to jump for joy, thinking this Nets team was going to pull off an impressive victory today, and they just couldn't get it done in the end. And the two players that actually made their debuts tonight played pretty well. Mikal Bridges, 23 points, 6 rebounds, and an assist with 2 steals in 34 minutes, 8 of 18 shooting. And Cam Johnson, 28 minutes. He didn't shoot great, 4 of 13 shooting. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals for Johnson and 12 points. Where were these guys at the end, though? It wasn't just all Philadelphia's defense. The Nets went ice cold when they needed it was like they all they had to do was just make a shot or two, and they would have won this game. And this is where all the Nets people, all the Nets fans and Nets haters are gonna be like, well, "Where's KD? Where's your Kevin Durant? Where's your Kyrie Irving?" And tonight they have a reason. Because the one thing that's going to bite this team right now is who is their closer. Who is the guy at the end of these games to make these clutch shots to win the game? It wasn't Dinwiddie. It wasn't Claxton, Bridges, Johnson, Finney-Smith, O'Neal, Harris, Watanabe, Simmons, Thomas, Mills, whoever it was. None of them did it. So this went from actually being a great team win to a very, very difficult team loss. Against the Sixers team they should have beaten today. They should have beaten them. They had this team on the ropes the entire game, and they frustrated the hell out of them through the entire game, and then they got ice cold from the field, ice cold from the court, and then it ended up biting them in the end. Philadelphia chipped their way, got to the foul line, hit big free throws, got to the foul line again, hit more big free throws. Nets couldn't buy a bucket. Philadelphia gets rebounds. The turnover by Dinwiddie with under 25 seconds to go. Philadelphia gets to the line. Embiid hits 2. Then again, Mikal Bridges misses a layup from about 6 feet under. Harden gets the rebound, 3 free throws. Spencer Dinwiddie with 0.9 seconds to go hits a game-tying 3, but they go to the replay and they say it was too late. BS. But I'm not even blaming it on the referees. Now you might think I'm being too harsh right now. When you are leading this game from pillar to post, first quarter to the end, close it out. You had Philadelphia on the ropes the entire game, and you went ice cold at the worst time. All those people that are Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving lovers, you know what? You got your wish tonight because nobody on this team could hit a damn shot to close the game out. Because I expect this team, when you are winning all game, to close it out. And I should not be this aggravated right now, but I am, because we should have beaten Philadelphia tonight. And we didn't get it done when we should have. This is an aggravating loss because we had this team done in the fourth quarter. We were leading the entire game. We were frustrating the hell out of them. The only ones that were doing anything for Philadelphia was only Harden and Embiid. The rest of the team did nothing. Maxey had a nice couple of shots, but otherwise that, nobody else did anything. And the Nets were hitting shots consistently, and then like I mentioned, 7.5, 6.5, the team just went ice cold. And besides a Spencer Dinwiddie dunk with about a minute and about 10 seconds to go, the Nets went ice cold from the field, and they blew this game. I'm not even afraid to say it. They blew this game tonight. And if you want to be considered a serious team going into the playoffs, you have to win these games against these good teams. And it's really a shame because I thought the team played well for the most part. Harris, once again, is starting to regain his shooting stroke. 6 of 9 from the field in 16 minutes. He had 18 points, including 6 of 9 from the three-point line. And Thomas was actually shooting pretty well at the end with 14 points. This was a very frustrating loss tonight if you're a Nets fan. It really is. And don't blame the referees at the end for that three-point shot that should have went in, but it didn't. But this team should have won. Defensively, they started to frustrate Philadelphia throughout most of the game with their length that they had in their lineup. And I like this lineup. I like this starting lineup. They started 4 of their new guys and Claxton. And for the most part, it was working. It was frustrating Embiid. It was frustrating Harden. It was frustrating everybody. But the problem is the defensive side of the court was working. The offensive side went cold. And I say it again, who is your closer? Who on this basketball team can you count on right now to be able to hit the big shots to win the games? Because nobody could do it. And you had an opportunity to knock off a very good Philadelphia 76ers team when you were beating them all game and you couldn't get it done. You let friggin' Joel Embiid and James Harden beat you at the end. And you couldn't respond. So I'm going to be harsh about it because if this was a close game throughout and Philadelphia was leading for the most part and the Nets cut it down to about a 2-point lead and we lost, I would have maybe been a little bit more lenient. But the fact of the matter is the Nets were leading by 12 at one point and they were leading by 7 points with about 6.5 minutes to go in this game. They had total control of this basketball game and they gave it up. They spit it up at the end offensively. Because they went ice cold from the field. There's no excuses if you can't make a friggin' shot. Because one shot, you make one single shot, it's a different game and we probably end up winning this one. And this goes a lot into the standings wise going forward. Because the Nets can't keep dropping these close games. They got to win them. You want to do something this year, even after Durant and Irving are gone? And they proved tonight they could compete with Philadelphia. They proved tonight they could play against Philadelphia. Because defensively, they're good enough to play against Philadelphia. The question is, do they have the closers on this team to beat a Philadelphia? The Sixers have Embiid and they have Harden. Who on the Nets are your closers? Who on the Nets, when you give them the basketball right now, they could end the game. And if I'm any of those Nets players right now, I'm pissed off because you had this game in the bag and you spit it up in the end. So I'm any one of those Nets players right now, I'd be pissed off because of the fact you had this game won. So while I'm very happy on some of the things I saw tonight, I thought that Bridges had a good game. I thought Johnson played well. Harris is starting to regain his three-point stroke. Thomas played much better off the bench, and I like Thomas off the bench. But I thought Dinwiddie had a poor game shooting. He did a good job the other parts of the game, but shooting-wise, he was poor. Claxton, I didn't think did enough tonight. Defense, he did have 4 block shots, but I think he could have done more offensively. Finney-Smith did the little things. Didn't really get much from the bench besides Harris and Thomas. And the Nets dropped a tough game tonight and now are 33-23 on the season. I'm sorry, 33-24. This one's going to aggravate me because of the fact that you had this game the entire time. And you were leading this game since 7-6 in the first quarter. And you couldn't close it out. And if the Nets can't find somebody or some of these players to make clutch shots in the end, they are not going to win. This is infuriating. And you could say Spencer Dinwiddie was a fingertip away from tying this game and sending it to overtime, but it should have never been in that position if this team didn't go ice cold from the court for 6.5 minutes, besides that Spencer Dinwiddie dunk with about a minute to go. So while I'm happy with the effort they gave tonight, and they played well for the most part against Philadelphia, they had this game secured, and they should have beaten the Sixers tonight. And the fact of the matter is, their offense let them down tonight. Their shooting let them down tonight. The lack of being able to hit a big clutch shot let them down, and allowing Philadelphia to go to the line, and Philadelphia made 29 of 30 free throws tonight. It's infuriating. So the Nets have got to do a much better job. Much better job. They have 2 games remaining before they go into the All-Star break. 2. They have 1 game against the Knicks, which is going to be on Monday at Madison Square Garden. And then they have another game against Miami in Miami before we go to the All-Star break. Best case scenario, the Nets split those games. You beat one of them, and if you lose the other, I'd like to win both. Honestly, we should have been 2-1 in these last 3 games at least. I would go for 3-0, but 2-1 is what I would take. Now the only way you can get that, because you blew this game tonight, is if you go out there and you beat both Miami and the Knicks. But you don't think the Knicks are going to be wanting to beat the Nets? And the Knicks, no. The Nets don't have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving out there. You need a closer around this team. So, that's my BKN Game Recap. Not going to get a whole lot of stats. It's more just aggravation because this team should have closed the Sixers out tonight and they just didn't get it done. And instead of it being a very satisfying victory over your division rival, instead it's an infuriating loss tonight by the Nets. So I hope everybody, if you like this video, hit the like button below and sub up to NYGJeffyT85 for more news, updates, chatter, and game recaps surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. And turn on the bell for notifications on the next video or short dropping on the channel surrounding the Brooklyn Nets. And you guys let me know in the comment section if you're as aggravated as I am as a Nets fan for the fact that this team had this lead for the entire game and couldn't put it away in the end. So thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Take it easy, and let's go Brooklyn Nets. It's a Nets world, and we're all just living in it.